previous video, I talked about the different financing options available to small businesses, and one of those options is, of course, traditional bank loans. Before going after a loan, make sure that you're prepared to take on the responsibility of repaying the loan's principal and interest whether or not your business is successful. And remember that you're more than likely going to have to provide a personal guarantee for the loan. If you still think a bank loan is the best source of capital for you and your business, here are the 5 C's of business credit that bankers will use to evaluate if your company will be approved for the loan and what interest rate you'll get. First up is character. Obviously, the bank does not want to lend to a sketchball who will try to weasel out of returning the money. So they'll evaluate your character as the owner of the business based on things like your personal and business credit history, your reputation in the community, your education and experience, and your references. Next, they'll look at your capacity to pay back the loan. This comes down to your business's financial health, and the banker will look closely at your business's cash flow to determine if you're really capable of making payments on time. Bankers will also look at and ask for collateral. Now, of course, bankers do their best to only lend to those who they believe will repay the loans. However, they have to have some recourse if they were wrong and you default on the loan. Therefore, they're going to ask for some of your businesses and maybe your own personal assets for collateral. The 4th C is conditions. Conditions include loan-specific considerations like what you'll use the money for and the terms of those agreements, and more macro factors such as broader industry and economic conditions that could affect your business and its ability to repay the loan as scheduled. And finally, bankers will look at capital. Have you already invested in your business yourself, or are you just hoping to play with other people's money? Is your business responsibly capitalized, or have you been taking every last cent out of the business to buy yourself cars and houses? If you think your business will go after a loan in the future, make sure that you assess all of these factors now and begin making improvements to any trouble spots so that when it's time to approach a bank, you and your company will be well positioned to get approved for your loan.
Did you find this video helpful or fun? Then share it with a friend who you think would benefit from the dish, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Facebook and subscribe to my channel on YouTube so you never miss any of the latest tips, tricks, and tutorials to help your business grow. And you get to see my adventures through the wide world of entrepreneurship and how I use the freedom running my own business gives me. Also, remember to head over to catecosta.com so you can get in on the conversation about how to build your business to success so you can live your life your way.